Coming up next on This Week in Torrance, nearly 5 months later, a welcome home party for this Boston Marathon bomb survivor. We'll tell you about his new normal and how he's continuing in his recovery.
Plus, local police and fire departments commemorate the 12th anniversary of 9/11, remembering the victims and the heroes of that tragic day.
Then good news for sports fans and foodies alike. There's a place here in Torrance that reopened with a whole new look and menu. We'll take you there.
And Torrance employees rehearsed their heart out to put on the best show possible, all for a life-saving cause. We'll take you behind the scenes to this year's employee variety show. These stories and much more are just seconds away.
Your local news starts right now.
Hello everyone and welcome to This Week in Torrance. I'm Christy Wilcox filling in for Jin Chun.
And I'm Ben McCain. Thanks for joining us. Here are your top stories. This year marked the 12th anniversary of 9/11, a tragic day that will never be forgotten. Local police and fire departments held a special memorial in honor of the fallen victims and heroes of that day. Reporter Haley Skeen has more on that story.
Captain Michael Simmons was on duty in Torrance when the first plane hit the World Trade Center.
We knew that was going to be a bad day, no matter what. We had no idea how bad it really was.
In the aftermath of the disaster, Simmons went to New York to assist his fellow firefighters on the East Coast.
So we went back and attended several funerals for them because they couldn't do it, and we just tried to support them the best way we could.
On the 12th anniversary of the tragedy, Torrance firefighters gathered around Chief William Wilcox to honor their fallen brothers and sisters.
Let us never forget the ultimate sacrifice made by so many.
Fire Captain Steve Duell says looking back on the tragedy, the Torrance Fire Department learned the importance of working with police and other outside agencies.
A lot of the training has been coordinated to where we understand how each other work and how we can fit into each other's game plan so we can effectively manage an emergency incident.
The firefighters next headed over to the police department where Chief New said a few words. In the case of an emergency, fire and police department work together as first responders. Police Officer Tom Bessie says today's anniversary reinforces the brotherhood between civil servants.
We're all on the same team. We have the same goals. Everything they want to do, we want to do.
Bessie says this bond extends to the officers and firefighters who lost their lives the day of the attacks.
You know what those people went through. You know what they were facing. A lot of them knew that they were going to die going into the situations they were going to, and they still made the decision to rush into those buildings.
Like Bessie, Simmons also says civil servants bear a responsibility to grow stronger as a result of the tragedy.
The experiences that they've felt, we try to learn from those situations. So hopefully we're more prepared because of what happened on September 11th, and that's probably the best thing we can do for the 343 people that died in the fire service.
For This Week in Torrance, I'm Haley Skeen.
Thanks, Haley. The city also commemorated the anniversary with a memorial wreath at City Hall.
Now that students are back in school, parents can breathe a sigh of relief thanks to local Assemblyman Al Moritsuchi. Assembly Bill 449, authored by Moritsuchi, was recently passed by California's Governor Jerry Brown. The teacher accountability bill, supported by districts throughout the South Bay, requires schools to report teacher misconduct in a timely fashion. This allows state agencies to revoke licenses of unfit teachers, keeping the threat out of all classrooms. In the past, teachers may have been fired for misconduct, but soon employed at different schools. This bill also closes a loophole in the current law, ensuring the safety and welfare of the students. School superintendents who fail to report misconduct will face fines and possible termination.
Like many schools, Torrance Unified School District is rethinking their start date to the school year. For 6 months, the school calendar committee has been looking to move the opening day of school to a pre-Labor Day start. The idea has created a bit of a stir, even though school district administrators say that the calendar will depend on many factors, including negotiating with the teachers union. They also agree that it is doubtful that any changes will be made prior to the start of the next school year. Naysayers nationwide believe that an early start to the school year means that less money will go back into the economy because there will be less tourism over the Labor Day weekend.
U.S. News & World Report recently revealed the top-ranked national universities in their annual 2014 review. While Ivy League colleges filled out most of the top 10, California Institute of Technology earned 10th place in the rankings, scoring 79 out of 100 points. The private institution is located in Pasadena and is known for their science and engineering programs. Other California universities that hit the top spots include University of California, Berkeley, which earned 20th place. And if you're looking to beat out your Southern California rival, well, it isn't happening this time. UCLA and USC both grabbed the 23rd spot.
Now that summer is behind us, you may want to get a jump start on protecting yourself from the impending flu season. Los Angeles County resident was recently hospitalized, and early lab reports confirmed that the patient had the influenza A H1N1 strain. This was the first patient to be admitted this season. Authorities say while the severity of this year's flu season is unpredictable, residents should consider getting either the influenza shot or the nasal spray vaccine and practice good hygiene. People should wash their hands often and avoid touching their face. Shopping carts, faucets, door handles, and many other surfaces can carry the germs that spread the flu virus. Each year, more than 200,000 people are hospitalized and nearly 24,000 die from the illness. The California Department of Public Health issued a statement reminding all Californians that flu shots are available beginning this month.
The city of Torrance remembers the life of local resident Chris Iliopoulos, who passed away peacefully at his home earlier this month. Iliopoulos was an active member of the Torrance community, a Victor Elementary PTA board and honorary life member. He also managed the Little League Baseball Senators team, was an advocate for improvements to West High's football stadium. He was a chairman and board member of the city's Parks and Recreation Department. He was also one of the founding members of St. Catherine Greek Orthodox Church in Redondo Beach. Iliopoulos worked for Southern California Edison for 38 years before retiring. He is survived by his wife Ann of 63 years and their 3 children. Iliopoulos was 89 years old.
Coming up, after nearly 5 months in Boston, John Odom returns home to Torrance.
And with football season kicking off, a local business reopens their doors just in time to meet every sports fan's need. We'll have that story and much more when we return.
This is the ocean, and this is Kipper. Kipper doesn't live in the ocean, but if she did, this is likely what would happen. This is Sparky, and this is habitat destruction. Boozer doesn't like it, neither does Fluffy. We wouldn't let this happen to Kipper, Sparky, Boozer, or Fluffy. In the oceans, it's worse. Lacking opposable thumbs, Kipper can't take action, but you can. Visit BeringSeaCanyons.org.
A sign outside one restaurant in El Segundo recently read, "Today's special, John Odom." That's because Torrance resident and marathon bombing victim John Odom and his wife Karen recently returned to Torrance. When the Odoms arrived at LAX after spending nearly 5 months in Boston, John Odom was walking and smiling while being greeted by family and friends. The emotional return included Odom's 2 sisters, who had not seen him since the week after the bombing, where Odom was still unconscious and temporarily residing at the Boston Medical Center. After leaving the airport, the Odoms celebrated their return at Beach Mex restaurant in El Segundo. Since the April 15th incident that killed 3 and injured more than 264 others, Odom endured 11 surgeries and months of rehab from shrapnel that hit arteries in both legs. Odom was the last of the victims to go home and plans to continue his rehabilitation right here in Torrance at Evolution Sports Medicine. Ben, I wish you could have been there. The energy and support with the Odoms was unbelievable. I had the pleasure of speaking to both of them, and I asked them if it was more excited to get on the plane and leave Boston or to arrive in LA. And they said, while it was nice to come back home, it was definitely tough to leave Boston, where they left behind their daughter who ran the marathon, their son-in-law, and their grandchildren.
This is a heartwarming story. And Karen Odom, his wife, created a Facebook page to rally up support during her husband's recovery. Viewers at home can check it out as well. It's facebook.com/John Odom support page, Boston Marathon bombing victim, and you're doing a follow-up with the Odoms.
Yes, I am. I'll be doing a follow-up with them at Evolution Sports Medicine, where John is getting his physical rehab and also sitting down with them in their home. The couple has such an amazing connection, and it's always nice to see strength that can come from a tragedy like this one.
Well, it seems like a wonderful family.
Yes.
Make sure you stay tuned for that follow-up story on John Odom's recovery right here on CitiCABLE in the coming weeks. And we'll have, much like the Odoms, there's a group of Torrance City employees making the best of a bad situation. Haley Skeen visits with performers rehearsing for the upcoming employee variety show, which raises funds for cancer research, and found many have been personally affected by cancer and are hoping to raise awareness and a whole lot of money.
Every year, a group of Torrance City employees dust off their dancing shoes and put on a variety show. Inspired by the cause, former City Councilwoman Hope Witkowski joined this unlikely group of entertainers over a decade ago.
I'm a cancer survivor. Many of the people on the third floor at City Hall when I was first elected died of cancer.
11 years later, the cause behind the annual variety show still holds special meaning for Witkowski.
Now, this year, my husband's fighting lung cancer.
Witkowski isn't alone in her proximity to the cause behind the event. City employee Leslie Cortez is also a cancer survivor, and she's channeling her strength to overcome a bit of stage fright.
Definitely for me, it's uncomfortable, but it's very meaningful and fulfilling.
Although the mission behind the show is serious, City employee Terry Ann Farron says it's also a lot of fun to be a part of.
It's been just something that I like to do, not only for the fundraiser, but for the camaraderie.
This is Cortez's 6th year performing in the show, and she says this year may be the most elaborate one yet.
A lot of the material has evolved as far as we're doing some dance movements, we're doing some costume changes. We kind of give little surprises to the audience. They never know what to expect.
Witkowski says adding pros to the mix helped transform the show from its roots as a talent show to a full production.
Like if somebody is going to a theater and they're seeing all of these entertainers on the stage at one time.
On top of working full-time, cast members have been rehearsing after hours to make sure the show is a hit. But for Witkowski, the true measure of the show's success lies in the cause behind it.
I am convinced that when we raise money to do this employee variety show, we are raising money to find that cure so nobody has to die from cancer.
For CitiCABLE, I'm Haley Skeen.
Thanks, Haley. City employees have raised nearly $1 million since their first show 15 years ago. Don't miss out on this year's performance held at the Armstrong Theater on Saturday, September 28th.
Mayor Frank Scotto, along with Torrance Chamber members and sports enthusiasts, gathered to welcome the grand reopening of a new sports bar and grill that I checked out myself to see how it's spicing up the neighborhood just in time to kick off the new football season. Whether you're a sports fan,
go Irish, yeah baby!
Go Giants!
Lakers, hands down.
or a food lover,
Thus far, my favorite are the shrimp. They're really, really good.
Industry Sports Bar and Grill is bringing a new flair into town with its grand reopening. The owner shut down what was known as Sully's Bar to give it a 10-day whirlwind makeover, and the crew that brought it all together plans to spice up the area with its new vibe.
Idea came about thinking about people in the industry and that they work late at night and they don't get off till 10 or 11, and to get food made from scratch, quality food.
With a menu created by a 5-star chef, the restaurant is offering handmade and fresh dishes in place of frozen foods, creating a healthy atmosphere for both sports fans and business professionals alike.
Everything that everybody asks for. Good food, great quality, great prices. Fully revamped a sports bar, but with class.
The entire restaurant is plugged into new technology.
Whether they want to change the game, they want to change the sound, the lighting in their area can be changed by separate sections. So if you're in a business meeting, we can make it quiet.
Working customers get use of free Wi-Fi and USB ports for their laptops, while others can wine, dine, and just kick back.
For us locals, you know, it's kind of nice to have someplace we can come and enjoy good food and drink in a nice atmosphere that you don't have to go to Hermosa or far away to get there. We can enjoy that same kind of atmosphere, you know, here in Torrance, so it's a good thing.
Industry Sports Bar and Grill is located just off Hawthorne and Sepulveda. Their official grand opening is set for September 14th.
A 71-year-old Torrance woman who went missing recently is safe at home again. Hafisa Sadiq went missing after leaving her home on a Friday to go on a neighborhood walk. Sadiq, who suffers from dementia and is hard of hearing, left her home near Cabrillo Avenue and Carson Street and never returned. Shortly after her disappearance, relatives called the Torrance Police Department. Family members said they found the woman later that day at Kaiser Permanente South Bay Medical Center in Harbor City after she had an apparent fall and was taken to the hospital by someone in the area.
The Torrance Police Department recently arrested a Pomona man in conjunction with a hit-and-run incident that occurred in August. Edward Allen of Pomona was taken into custody after witnesses provided authorities with enough information to make the connection. The 54-year-old male was driving a Toyota Camry when he struck a 10-year-old boy just off the 3700 block of Del Amo Boulevard in Torrance. Just prior to this incident, Allen had been involved in another hit-and-run close to Torrance and Western Boulevard. The boy who was struck during the incident has undergone multiple surgeries to help him recover from injuries to his leg. Anyone with further information about the incident should call the Torrance Police Department at area code 310-618-5557.
Coming up after the break, grab a pen and paper. We've got some great events happening you won't want to miss.
All the preparation, the training, it all comes down to this.
To be a winning team, you have to work like a winning team.
We have a job to do out here today.
Some people think it's about muscle, but it's really about heart. A lot of heart.
My team depends on me.
And my team is 50,000 strong. Looks like a lot of work's going into this.
This is what it feels like to be part of a team.
A winning team.
The action team.
Get in on the action at actionteam.org. Are you in?
The National Parkinson Foundation invites you to Moving Day.
Moving Day!
Are you ready to move? Walk, cheer, yay! Dance, stretch, laugh, and shout. Whatever it takes to beat Parkinson's.
Let's defeat Parkinson's.
Remember, people who move change the world. It's a new day for Parkinson's. Make your move today.
Welcome back. Class is back in session and the Torrance Unified School District needs your help. The board is seeking applicants to serve on the district's Personnel Commission. That term begins on December 1st. The Personnel Commission is a nonpartisan panel responsible for the administration of a merit system for the selection, retention, and promotion of classified non-teaching employees. Interested Torrance residents should submit a letter of interest and completed applications turned in to the superintendent's office no later than 5 p.m. on September 25th. Applications can be picked up at the administrative office or go online to TUSD.org. The board will announce its nominee at the September 30th school board meeting. Then a public hearing and vote will take place at the board meeting on November 4th.
A former Torrance City employee and good friend to us at CitiCABLE has a new mission in life. Bernard Ricks, the former production supervisor at CitiCABLE, retired after 14 years with the city after being diagnosed with ALS or Lou Gehrig's disease. His new mission is to raise funds for this incurable disease. And now there's a way you can help too. On Friday, September 20th from 6:30 to 9:30 p.m. at the Toyota Auto Museum, there will be food, games, raffles, and much more, all for a great cause. Ricks is a member of the Golden West chapter of the Walk to Defeat ALS. Ricks hopes to gain more support in finding a cure for the disease. According to the ALS Association, someone is diagnosed with ALS every 90 minutes and there's no cure for the disease. To attend, you must RSVP. Contact our office at 310-618-5762 or you can donate directly to the Walk to Defeat ALS event happening in Los Angeles on October 20th.
Bernard, we wish you the best with that project. The Torrance Rose Float Association will host an upcoming fundraising event. This month, Rascal's Teriyaki Grill in Torrance is partnering with the local organization to raise funds to keep the float afloat. On Tuesday, September 24th from 11 a.m. to 9 p.m., 15% of all food sales will be donated to the TRFA. You must bring a flyer. You can find one on the website. Just go to torrancerosefloat.com.
And don't forget to mark your calendars for the upcoming employee variety show that's raising funds for the American Cancer Society. Torrance employees will be singing, dancing, and performing. This takes place on Saturday, September 28th at the James Armstrong Theater. Now let's go out to Sports Desk where Juan Hernandez has a preview of what's to come.
Juan, what do you have for us?
Hi, Ben and Christy. Hope you're having a great week. Always good to see you here on the Sports Desk, and I know you're curious about what we've got coming on the show. Check it out. The Bishop Montgomery Knights welcome some amazing former athletes into their 3rd annual Hall of Fame class. They even sprinkle an Olympic athlete into the mix of festivities, while over on the football field, things are really heating up for Coach Hodgkiss' squad. We'll see if they can build on the momentum of a huge opening season win. As always, you want to check that out. We're going to be right here on CitiCABLE 3 every day at 4 p.m. and 9:30 p.m. See you there.
Thanks, Juan. Well, that's going to do it for us on This Week in Torrance. I'm Ben McCain.
And I'm Christy Wilcox filling in for Jin Chun. If you've missed any portion of our show, you can catch us again at 11 a.m. and 6 p.m.
And don't forget to check us out on Facebook. Be sure to like our page to get the latest updates on what's going on in Torrance. That's facebook.com/This Week in Torrance TV.
Speaking of which, I'd like to announce the winner of this week's Facebook Fan. Jessica J. is the lucky winner of a portable mini speaker.
Congratulations, Jessica. You can pick up your prize at our office located at 3350 Civic Center Drive, Suite 200, and keep those likes coming. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.